Hello there, I'm the student and this is another video on my channel, and today I wanted to show you one of my greatest games actually that I've played so far with over 3000 hours of gameplay. It is an Inuit culture, one culture, an Anglican, one faith, and an Great Britain, one tag. So first of all, let's talk about the beginning of the game. In the beginning of the game, I started as Provence over here. As you can see, the time-lapse is obviously bugged. But yeah, I started as Provence, and I basically did only the Provence mission tree, which is more than enough actually to dominate the world pretty early in the game. After I started as Provence, I obviously went down the mission tree of Provence, and I PU'd, I reconquered Naples, I PU'd Aragon, PU'd Hungary, PU'd France with the same dynasty. Actually, the details of that you're going to see in the time-lapse video, which is going to be another separate video. So to see why the start as Provence is so important is because of one modifier basically, and this is the modifier over here, diplomatic annexation cost. And you notice the annexation cost is 70%. It's because 15% over here because of the Austrian ideas that I have. Then there is another 25% from the influence ideas, another 20% King of Kings, that modifier over there, from the Provence mission tree. It's the last mission over there, permanent modifier until the end of the game. And the same thing also until the end of the game, the modifier Unity of Italy from the Sardinia-Piedmont mission tree, which gives another 10%. And yeah, you're going to say 70%, that's not really much. Yeah, it's 70% of those permanent modifiers that I have. But on top of that, there comes another 20% diplomatic annexation cost reduction, which I chose in the early game. Obviously, in this stage of the game, I don't need this anymore, but I took it always before I annexed a subject. Obviously, that brings me to 90% diplomatic annexation cost reduction with the 70 that I showed you just yet. And yeah, there is actually another 15% from the British Parliament over here, which is obviously not chosen right now, but I'm probably going to show you a little picture on the screen right now, which shows how the diplomatic annexation cost reduction actually stacks on the integration of subjects. And this, what you can see right there, actually is that 105% diplomatic annexation cost reduction means that there in the formula of how the diplomatic annexation cost reduction is calculated, the formula of that has 1 0 in it. Because obviously all of that is multiplicative, right? So the modifiers of ideas and stuff is then minus obviously percentage off, right? So you have normally times 1, and if it's 15% less, then it's times 0.85, right? And then this modifier is then multiplied with the modifier of admin efficiency over here of 70%. So it's also again times 1, and then this 1 is there is 70% off, so it's actually times 0.3. And that's basically how the formula works, right? So as it's all multiplicative, this means that if one of the modifiers reaches the point of 0, then all the other modifiers doesn't matter because of the one modifier being 0. And the one modifier that is 0 is actually the diplomatic annexation cost reduction. If you put another 20% from the policy and another 15% from the parliament on it, right? So I did basically that, and I made the whole formula 0, because if one part of the multiplicative formula is 0, then all of it is 0, obviously. And this then lets you integrate all of your subjects for the minimum amount, which is obviously a hard cap also in the game, which is 0.1 diplomatic power cost per development. Which means that a subject with 1000 development, which is an enormously huge subject, right? This subject would cost you 100 Diplo points to integrate. So this is how I basically got the world conquest and the one faith fast enough, because I used obviously missionaries from my subjects and I conquered with my subjects and stuff. That's also why I don't have any core creation cost modifiers stacked, except obviously the admin ideas which I need for the policy. So yeah, this is basically how I got that, and for that I started as Provence, finished the mission tree for the 10%, then I formed Austria to get the Austrian ideas, and I formed Sardinia-Piedmont for the other 10% modifier that I got, and then I formed England so that I could get the Anglican religion event, obviously. And after that I formed Great Britain because of the enormously strong mission tree that they've got, which I actually finished in this case, but it didn't give me the achievement, sadly, because you would have to be English culture for that, which I obviously am not, because I am Inuit culture over here. But yeah, this is basically how it worked, and this is how you could do it actually in the current patch as well, because the 100% you just have to reach the 100% diplomatic annexation cost reduction, and you can even reach that only temporarily, for example through the Austrian mission that gives you 20%, or the generic mission that gives you 15%. So if you get, it doesn't matter how you get it, but if you get the modifier over here of the diplomatic annexation cost reduction to more than minus 100, then this means that you can integrate every subject for the hard cap minimum, which is 0.1 Diplo point for development, which means that you basically pay 1 Diplo point per 10 development, which is basically for free. Yeah, that was what I formed. And another thing that I obviously did is I got the Anglican event from because I was forming England, and after that Great Britain, so that fits in really nice. And right now I wanted to talk about a little bit detailed how I got the Inuit culture over here from that province over here, because it is really a little bit difficult to get that, because obviously this is an uncolonized province, and if you send a colonist into an uncolonized province, then this province gets your culture, and it's actually immediately, even if you recall the colonists, even then it still will be your culture, because it is one of the New World provinces. In the Old World, actually, you'll notice that obviously there are so many natives in the beginning of the game that they have their own culture, basically, normally. But yeah, in a New World, it's way more difficult than that. Yeah, to show you how that actually works, I'm going to show it to you right now in a non-Ironman game. So here I am in a non-Ironman game as England, and I want to show you a little bit detailed how you can get the Inuit culture and yeah, basically also every other culture that that only exists in non-colonized provinces in the beginning of the game. For example, the Aleutian culture over here, in the same culture group actually as the Inuit one. So yeah, what you basically want to do, you want to push the natives, for example the Innu over here, you want to push them onto a province with the culture. So obviously those two provinces are not available because they are too far away. So this province or this province with this tribe over here would be the best choices for that. So what you want to do is you would want to colonize around all provinces around them. So let's do this real quick. Colonize that one and colonize this one. What's going to happen is this tribe is going to move into this province because it's the only province that he can move to. Because it's the only uncolonized province that he borders. To make this a little faster, I'm going to actually switch to the native tribe right now. So you have to understand that in an Ironman game, obviously you would do that and then just wait until he goes there, and then you send a colonist into that province, and always like that, right? But to make it faster, I'm just going to give myself some mill points, and I'm going to migrate directly to that province of Inuit culture. As you can see, it's Inuit culture over here. So I'm going to migrate over there and delete my troops, switch back to England, and now I'm going to simply annex the nation, as you can see, like this. Obviously you could do that as normal in a normal campaign easily, right? Because you would push them and you would have colonized all of those provinces, and then you would just annex this province, core it. So it's my core now, and change the religion. As you can see, it's now Catholic and my core. And as you can see, it's no longer the Innu culture, because it's the culture of the Innu tribe that migrated to that province. That's always the case. A tribe that migrates changes the culture. But yeah, as if they migrate back, the culture changes again, actually. And the same thing you can do with this button over here, and change it back to the original culture. As you can see over there, there is the modifier original culture of that province, which is making that even cheaper, actually. And yeah, you can do this with one of the DLCs, I think. But yeah, if you have that, you can do that. And yeah, I'm just going to do that, and I did it in the game. And after 30 months, this province is going to be the Inuit culture, and then obviously you can just culture convert all the adjacent provinces and state them and destate all of the other land that you have, and then switch to the primary culture and start the one culture run. Last but not least, the obviously important question, how I got the one tag, and it's because my capital is in the wonderful province of New York over here with 72 development, and that's obviously the reason why there are no colonial nations to form and no problems for that matter to own all of the world directly under the Emperor George I of Gothia, actually. Quite funny that I've got the dynasty of Theodore over here. But yeah, one thing is actually that I want to talk about in connection with the Inuit culture. I didn't Diplo-Bank, and the reason why I didn't is because I didn't have to, and the reason why I had to is because I had basically 6 in Diplo the whole game. And you would think, why would it be that way? That is 6 all the game long, and the answer is because of the Imperial Austrian monarchy. And there is the second reason why I formed Austria, not only for the ideas that are quite nice actually, also for the one faith over here, but also for the Imperial Austrian monarchy, which gives every monarch a diplomatic skill of +2, which makes an average monarch skill in Diplo of 5 obviously, and which makes it really not difficult at all to just re-roll a ruler until he has a 6 as my current ruler has over here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understood how it worked, and I hope you are inspired by that to make other interesting one faith, one cultures like that, maybe with the technique of Provence. And I'm going to, if you want to see the time lapse, I'm going to make another video on that. It's probably online already if you see that, so just have a look on the video description or on my channel. You're going to find it. Quite buggy, but still quite interesting to see. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.